We're out of danger! Don't worry, we're safe! We're out of danger! Alex, we're out of danger! So, we're doing it. We've done it before with Bandai. We've done it before with Beam Software and Acclaim. Now it's time to explore the catalog of a good publisher, Renovation Products on Sega Genesis. So, as usual, this is going to be pretty tight timing-wise, so I'm limiting myself to a maximum of 5 minutes per game. We got 5 minutes to discuss everything there is possibly to discuss about each game, and afterwards, no more. It'll be thrown in the fire.
Just toss it the fuck
That game
out.
does not exist anymore. Hopefully, we should be able to get through all of them. It's open. Let's do it. So, Renovation. Who are they? What do they want from us? Turns out Renovation Products is the stateside subsidiary of a company called Telenet in Japan, who made so many games. So many. Including stuff ranging from the PC-88 and other early home computers, the Sega Genesis, and their heyday on the PC Engine Super CD-ROM. Now, in the early 90s, they got word the Sega Genesis was doing pretty big here in the States. Wasn't doing so well in Japan. Mega Drive didn't exactly have the same market share over there. But Telenet decided to start up Renovation Products in 1990 in an attempt to get some money off of those Americans and their Sega Genesises. Genesises.
Electric Boogaloo says they were founded in 1989.
Oh, okay. So they kind of sat on their ideas for a little bit before finally springing into action in October of 1990 with this game, Whi Rush. You may have to adjust the overscan. I know we have it set for Sega CD. Don't worry about it if it looks fine, though.
Yeah, just a touch.
Oh, there's some Sega Genesis music.
Oh yeah, that's some farty music for your ass.
Or is it farty music from my ass?
Off to a great start, thank you to all the new viewers. There we go, that looks good.
Oh, damn it! You're fucking with us on Mars? Why?
They don't... Listen, I paid $1 billion to go to Mars, and now they're all... Whatever. It's the last time I paid Elon Musk money. Alright, thank you to I asked for the 50 bits. They say, I still own this and never did finish it.
Nice. These are good games for the most part. I like the music here.
Music's by Hikoshi Hashimoto, who did Cosmic Carnage, Battletoads Genesis, and some other stuff.
Nice, nice. Wow, skip me to the demo already. Let's do it.
I was gonna say, you don't get to start the game today, Danny.
Yep, October 1990, they start off with Whi Rush, which isn't even one of their games. This is a Vic Tokai joint.
What?
They made several games for the Mega Drive and Genesis. They decided not to release this one in the States, because I don't think they were active at that point over here in the Western world. Actually, no, they were releasing NES games. I don't know what they were doing. They should have released this on their own. Anyway, that was part of Renovation's MO. They scooped up games from other developers where they came time to localize them, and they were like, nah, I'm gonna leave them here in Japan. And Renovation's like, ooh, can we have that?
This looks good.
And they built a whole business off of that. A good chunk of these games we're going to play tonight are going to be as a result of those arrangements. Just other developers making games and then being like, you can release them in the States. Take our money, please.
Please. Let's see here. Shulu mentions it was published by Sega in Japan, and Mizo says maybe they didn't even have a Sega license in the US at this point. And that could be true.
That could be, yeah. Nintendo was kind of strong-arming its publishers, being all like, oh, if you publish games for Sega, we're not going to like you as much. That's pretty much word for word what they said.
Yaddle says, the old are you going to finish that business model?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're pointing to the fries on your plate, and they're like, ooh.
Those look like a tasty profit.
Really gonna leave that there? You don't want to box it up?
You don't want to
No, I don't want to eat mushy fries later. Go ahead and eat my fries, Renovation. Yeah, so it turns out Sega published this in Japan then. That makes sense, because they sure scooped up a whole lot of Sega games that Sega declined to release here in the States. Some of them make sense, some of them don't. A lot of them are all like... many of them are games that don't feature, like, astounding arcade-style graphics. Like, Sega really wanted to cultivate this thing of having great graphics and great-looking games. And if games didn't meet up to that kind of standard, they gave them to someone else. Stuff like, say, Great Game Ground or Crackdown. Great games, but they have tiny little sprites. And all the bros don't like tiny little sprites. Anyway, that's my theory.
That's a good theory.
Bros don't like tiny sprites.
Let's see here. Dominic White mentions that's still kind of a model used a lot today, like how Sony Japan commissioned and published Demon's Souls, and then Sony US was like,
yeah, pretty much. Yeah, Demon's Souls is a great example of that recently, where Sony was just like, no one's gonna like this game.
We got 100 bits from Cool Coyote. He says, 100 bits, and I'm glad to be spending my birthday with the Retro Pals and their classic top-notch humor.
Oh my goodness, happy birthday, Cool Coyote.
Happy birthday.
Thanks for joining us.
Happy birthday. My birthday's actually tomorrow. So.
Yeah, Alex has decided that as soon as this stream is over, his birthday starts officially.
It technically starts tomorrow, but I want a long day off, so I'm just gonna... Yeah.
Okay, we're hitting the 5-minute mark, but I've reached the boss here. Let's see what I can do.
Good luck.
Now, I used to have a little... Oh, I still do. There's a bit attached to my ship, which can point in any direction. You can also push one of the buttons to, like, rotate it around your ship. It's minor stuff, but that allowed it to stick out back then.
What the fuck? It was Trop of Luxury's birthday yesterday and Codeman's birthday last week, so...
Wow. Everyone has their birthdays at the same time.
I was gonna say, if you're, I guess if you're a fan of the Retro Pals, you got a December birthday, buddy. And if you don't, well, then get out. Get the fuck out.
Alright, there you go, Whi Rush. Not a super great game, but, you know, for 1990, maybe you wanted a shooter. This is a shooter.
Ooh, Whoop on Whoop's birthday is on fucking Friday, so here we are.
Jeez, everyone.
Happy
birthday to everyone.
Maybe if you like weird, fucked up games and are, like, queer online, you have to be born in December.
That could be it.
It's the new law. December
1990, so a couple months after Whi Rush... Renovation decides, let's bring over one of our own, Final Zone. Now this got a different name in Japan. I think it was called FC Axis or something. And this is tonight's first game made by Wolf Team.
Wolf Team!
Our
Wolf
favorites.
Team!
Now what do you get with Wolf Team? You get anime art, you get unconventional gameplay mechanics, and sometimes you get a true gem. This is not one of those games.
Sorry. I like weird fucked up games, and I'm queer online, and I was born in April. That sounds like one of those automatically generated shirts on Facebook people get. This queer furry loves Renovation games, and was born in April.
And I love to grill. So this game here is an isometric action game where you're a giant mech. That ticks a lot of the boxes already. People were into giant mechs back then.
Yeah.
You got various movement speeds, you can just kind of... Yeah, you can dash and tool around town. And this game's structure is kind of unusual because these levels, they just kind of scroll infinitely. Your objective is to destroy a bunch of enemies in each level. And once you finally clear them out, the boss spawns. So what do you think?
Well, it's different looking.
Yeah? It's got a nice big sprite.
Mm-hmm.
It's right up there with Altered Beast. Kind of simple-minded gameplay with really stripped-down objectives, but hey, it's Wolf Team's first time. What are you gonna do? Now, this is part of a big series, believe it or not. There's something like 3 different games that are named Final Zone, and they're all uniquely terrible. This is probably the best of them. This game's honestly not bad. This is like a 6 out of 10. There's also a PC-88 version, which was kind of like Ikari Warriors. And then there was Final Zone 2 on the PC Engine, which is god-awful, and you need to see it sometime. It features some amazing voice acting.
I've heard of that, yes.
It's right up there with Last Alert. I destroyed all the enemies yet? Damn. So you get a bunch of different weapons. as was the style at the time.
Yes.
Oh, look at this. We got schematics.
Oh, cool, cool.
I want the wave shot.
Oh, I thought that was like...
Ray and Ray. Get in there, Ray.
Go, Ray, go!
I love the sound effects in this game. You hearing this? It's all like... Wah, 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 wah.
This is so Genesis, God bless.
It is. And yeah, it's cool to shoot stuff, but after a time it kind of devolves into this, where you're just like looking around, seeing where the dudes are that you gotta kill. Sound effects could use some work.
Let's see, Video Game King says this reminds me of a clumsy Granada.
Well, funny you should say that. We'll get to that in a second.
Oh, thank you to Inari Fox, who just resubscribed. They've been subscribed 4 months in a row. They resubscribed with a message, I'm a little late, but here's a sub. Thank you.
Cool, thank you.
You've not missed anything aside from us discussing our niche t-shirts that say, I love Wolf Team, never trust a... Oh, no, wait, no. Always trust a gay furry born in December who loves Wolf Team games. And grilling.
And grilling.
And grilling, that's really important.
Welcome to the Grill Club. Boy, it's just, there's so many different terrible sound effects. I have to admire this game. Oh, look at that scene.
That's so cool! Wow!
This is the most dramatic game over screen I've ever seen.
That is the coolest game over screen.
I don't think I'm going to continue.
I just want to look at the screen.
It's a good way to end this part off. So yeah, it's 8 levels of that. You just kind of meandering around this town, looking for robots to kill. There's some cool bosses. I was hoping I could show one off, but it was not in the cards.
That shirt, I absolutely want the Gyarus guy to wear that shirt, yes.
Hang on, we're getting there.
And Devil Ray says there's a gay furry grilling on Twitch?
Yes, there is.
Alright, we're having...
That should be a category, in my opinion.
Alright, what's next?
So, Renovation finishes off 1990. Yep, only 3 games they released at the tail end of 1990. This is the final one, released in December of 1990, and it's one of my favorites. It's a game called Granada. Now, this is a good fucking game. This, too, is also ported from a computer platform. This was on the X68000 in Japan. What is Granada? Nobody knows who named it. It's a hypercannon tank, for which unit or country of origin is unknown. No one knows where this thing came from.
I love this spontaneously created tank.
It just goes on creating, or rather destroying, all kinds of weapons. Some called it God of African Continent. Others called it Ghost of Soldiers. Who is this non-nationally affiliated tank that's going around destroying all the world's super weapons? It's Granada.
That was a cool intro looking thing.
Yeah, I love this game.
This looks really cool.
Let's dive right in. Have we shown this on stream before? We must have.
Maybe. I don't remember.
Now, this is the first game we featured on the stream today that I actually have history with, because back in 90 or 91, I was at Toys R Us, and there was all these expensive games that my parents wouldn't buy me. And I learned that I could maybe sometimes convince them to get a game if it was cheap. And guess what was cheap? It was freaking Granada. $15 for this game. Only $15 for a Sega Genesis game back in 1990 or 91.
That's a really good deal.
I got it home, and oh my god, I was blown away. I was like, holy shit, cheap games can be really good. I tried that a few more times to mixed results.
Yeah.
As I guess you can tell. I think the next time I tried that, I got like, what was that game? Kung Fu Heroes for NES. That was a terrible game. That was $10 for a reason. But sometimes, if you try to save some money, you may end up playing something that's a little bit under the radar. A game that no one else has ever heard of, but might actually not be terrible. And that's this game.
I want to thank Sodaku, who resubscribed. They've been subscribed 6 months in a row. They resubscribed with the message, eat, sleep, gay furry, Data East, repeat.
Exactly. Thank you. So this game is also kind of open-ended. There's these large levels where you just have to hunt down a bunch of different targets. But this one, they actually give you a radar, and the levels don't scroll infinitely. They're actually designed so you can figure your way around them. Also like the way it controls. You can lock your tank by holding the B button, and you can do either like cannon shots or just machine gun fire. And what's cool is the big cannon feels really good to use because it pushes you back whenever you use it.
Yes, and Electric Boogaloo mentions this does take place in September 2016, this game, so...
Oh, it's pretty recent.
I
Remember when that tank was just going around killing everything? Oh wait, that was Killdozer.
I was gonna say that did happen. That did happen.
Granada is the thrilling retelling of the Killdozer legend.
Yeah, 2016 was all the election and the clown. And remember when the clowns in the woods got a giant tank? That was weird.
Oh yeah. Clowns were all like, we have no allegiance to any nationality. We just want to destroy weapons.
We only have allegiance to the tank.
I really like this game. I have nothing else to say. I could just play this forever, so it's good that I have a time limit here. But yeah, all the levels are structured like this. You wander around looking for the different targets. And unlike Final Zone, there's actually some kind of pacing to it, and it just feels good to play. That's my argument. This game gets an 8 out of 10 on the Retro Pals scale.
That's great.
Fuck it, 9 out of 10.
Just, no, give it 11 out of 10. Who gives
Okay,
a shit
11 out
anymore?
of 10. Renovation, their games go to 11. That was their slogan, right?
Yeah, close enough. Scarlet Swordfish says, I don't need therapy, I just need to play Wolf Team games in front of 115 people. That sucks, I want that t-shirt really
Did you
bad.
go into my brain and rip out that sentence? Because that's pretty much what I'm thinking.
Oh, bless y'all.
Streaming, it's cheaper than therapy. Waka waka.
Oh yeah, I remember when the actual clowns were mad about the evil clowns in the woods, being like, we're not like those clowns.
Oh yeah, that's right.
You know what?
Warring factions of clowns. That's where we're at.
Bring back the scary clowns.
I'm ready.
I'm ready.
We
Bring
weren't
them
ready.
back.
We weren't ready for them back then, but we're ready now.
All right, we've.
I've reached the 5-minute limit.
Yeah.
I was about to reach the boss too, but this is one of the top games you're going to see on stream. If you play any of these games, play this one. I think you might like it, especially for $15. Who could beat that? Nobody. That's who. So 1990 is done. What have we seen so far? We've seen a couple of Wolf Team games. One that was just so-so. One that was excellent. And we also got that Vic Tokai game, which just kind of filled a niche of shooters, which needed to be filled at the time. 1991, meanwhile, will be the most active year we see for Renovation. Like, so active, we're going to have to split it up between the first and second halves of tonight's stream.
Oh, damn.
This is where their majority of releases came from, so let's start her up. Starting in January of 91, they pulled their classic move of, hey, you gonna finish that? With Arrow Flash. And this game is known for one thing and one thing only, and that's its amazing intro. You gotta see this.
Oh, I'm excited.
This intro must have sold the game for so many people.
God, that's a cool logo.
He knew how to do logos. Yeah, check this out. One anime babe has what it takes to stop the evil.
Alright, I support. Oh, this is cool.
Mhm.
Oh, this is fucking awesome. Oh, this kicks ass.
This intro is basically like, hey nerds who pay $30 for 2 episodes of an anime, this game's for you.
Thanks for calling me out, I appreciate that.
Yeah, no problem. It is your birthday.
Aw.
Close enough. So the Sega, this was leftovers. This was all like, we're gonna release stuff like Mystic Defender, Dick Tracy, other early Sega games. They were all like, we don't need Arrow Flash. That'll just dilute the market. Renovation, once again, just scooped it right on up and published it here in the States.
They just set out their good game net into the sea and just pulled out a bunch of good shit.
Let's go fishing for games. So this game is part of a subgenre that was much more popular on the NES. Did I just crash into an item pod? That's embarrassing. This is part of the transforming robot niche. In this game you can control both a humanoid robot. He's kind of chunky. Look at him. And you also got a ship. And that's kind of it.
Yeah.
That was way back in the day. You could like release a game that just had that as a feature, and that would carry you. Stuff like Formation Z. Meanwhile, in 1990, kind of played out. Kind of an old thing. You kind of need a little bit more than that. And what this game has is the powerful arrow flash maneuver. Those looks like this.
That's something, all right.
Yeah, it turns you totally invincible, and you can just kill everything. Meanwhile, if you're in ship form and you try to do that, it does this.
That's cool.
That's not nearly as cool. It's cool, but not as cool.
Okay, cool. Let's see. Electric Boogaloo mentions that Arrow Flash was published by Sega in Japan, but the development was actually outsourced, according to the GDRI, to Imaginative Technology Land.
I have not heard of that company. What else did they do?
I don't know, but
They're imaginative, at least.
I like the name Imaginative Technology Land, or ITL. Looks like they did, they did some work on some 3DS stuff. Who would know?
Yeah, what would I know?
Abadox.
Abadox! That's pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was Natsume. I guess Natsume outsourced it, too.
They published it, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they did programming and graphics for Abadox, Bubble Bobble 2 on the NES. Let's see.
So they're okay. They do adequate work. Nothing spectacular. And this just feels so unspectacular. There's nothing exciting about this game once you're past the transforming robot. But there is something cool that happens halfway through the level. Something cool's gonna happen.
Is it? Alright.
Get ready. We're out of danger! Don't worry, we're safe! We're out of danger! Alex, we're out of danger! Ooh, that guy's not out of danger, though. Ooh. Yikes. I like the way it parts the sea. That's neat. Anyway, back to business. Yeah, occasionally cool stuff like that happens. And there's a couple of levels later on that have these weird background scrolling effects that look kind of neat. Other than that, for 1991, this is kind of lacking. A few months later, we'd have Sonic the Hedgehog. People would forget all about this bullshit. They'd want Sonic and other Hedgehog-themed games.
That sucks.
What about the transforming robots? Left them all out of business. Well, even the ones that could do this.
Sonic gentrifying all the robots,
Mm-hmm.
kicking them out, turning it into...
Suddenly Sega was like, well, that was cool, but you have an attitude? They're like, no.
These robots do have an attitude, and I don't think it's fair of Sega to assume they don't.
The intro seemed to imply some kind of attitude. I don't know if it's a good or a bad one. Maybe it's best not to stick around to find out. That's our 5 minutes.
Alright, 5 minutes.
That's Arrow Flash, yet another shooter released to put another shooter on the market.
And yeah, we've already played Granada, unfortunately.
One of the first and one of the best from them. They really should have just stopped at Granada. Next up, guess what they're doing again? It's Game Ground.
We will never stop playing Game Ground on this damn stream.
This is something like the third time we played it here on stream, but it's always relevant, somehow. So, a port of a Sega arcade game. Arcade game was vertical screened and had up to 3 players. This one downgrades it to 2 players and kind of squashes the screen. And that, among other reasons, was, I guess, why Sega declined on publishing this themselves. But Renovation, always being the plate finishers that they are, they said, we'll take it.
Thank you, Uzi, who says, Stormin' Norman's Game Ground. Yep, this would be the year the Gulf War started, too, so... I saw someone else mention 1991, bring on the Gulf War, because...
Is this the second stream in a row we've mentioned Stormin' Norman? We ought to have him on stream at some point.
We can't. We literally can't, he is dead.
Oh, shit.
He died in 2012.
Oh, I was gonna say, have Macaulay Culkin versus Stormin' Norman. It'll be like a 90s showdown.
This sucks.
Yeah, call up Max, people. Say that we'll play the Page Master. Except they already did that on Angry Video Game Nerd.
Well, tell him we're gonna talk about Wish Kid or something.
That was actually a good sequence. They were all like, "You've never played this before? Didn't they send you a game?" They were like, and he was like, "They didn't send me anything. I never heard of this game." That's pretty great. So this game, we've mentioned it time and time again, but the objective in each level is to either kill all the enemies or get all of your enemies, or rather get all of your allies to the exit. You have a whole bunch of different allies you can recruit throughout each level. They all have their own special powers. This lady's got grenades. There's also different elevations you have to worry about, and some people's weapons only go over ridges like this, and some people's don't. You can think of it as a futuristic football game. You gotta get to the end zone.
And as mentioned in chat, this actually was ported internally by Sega. That's why it is good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a good game and a good port. It's just, it didn't fit in with what Sega wanted at the time. Luckily, other publishers were there to pick up the slack. Now, some levels, they try to trick you, like this one here. It's all like, oh, you're gonna get to the exit, right? Let's just spawn some enemies right behind you.
Oh my god!
In the arcades, it would be like, one more quarter, please. But yeah, this is a good game. Check it out, why don't you?
I will, Danny. I will.
You ever seen this game, Gain Ground? It's all about these people gaining ground.
Never heard of it before.
You ever heard of Storm and Norman Schwarzkopf?
So, I'm working on an end-of-the-year compilation of a lot of glitches for our YouTube channel, and now I'm realizing I should just do a compilation of every time I've mentioned Storm and Norman Schwarzkopf.
You shouldn't, because it makes no sense and it's not funny. Just like everything we do. Oh, this guy can't shoot up this ridge, so we gotta run into the end zone.
There you go.
Touchdown!
Oh, you just made it.
That's 6 points, and now we're going for the 2-point conversion.
Sorry, all those people just going like, hut, hut, hut.
Yeah, the arcade game was amazing. It was just all these dudes on screen saying hut at the same time. Hut, 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 hut. Still, despite the fact we've played it a whole bunch of times, and despite the fact that it doesn't really look all that great compared to the big 16-bit powerhouses back then, it plays well.
Yeah.
Either check out this or the arcade version if you want some 3-player action with this. Or just get it on any of the Sega Genesis compilations that come out every couple months or so.
God, it's on everything.
Yeah, it's on the new one that came out for Switch, I believe. So that's probably your easiest way to play it at the moment. That's enough Gain Ground. See you until we play you next time, Gain Ground. One of these days. Okay, folks, we got a milestone here.
Uh-huh.
So that was January 91. 2 games in January of 91. They followed it up in February with a real heavy hitter. It was a game called Gyarus.
Oh my god, okay,
so
okay.
Alex has some supplemental material.
Yes, I fucking do. Yes,
now, unlike these other games, Gyarus is what got the magazines to notice. EGM rated this, and I think they rated like Granada and Whi Rush before, and they were just like, 6s, 7s, these games are okay. Gyarus got 8s and 9s out of 10. It was all like, holy shit, this is one of the best shooters for the Sega Genesis. You gotta get this game. So based on that, they decided to pretty much promote their entire brand around this one game. And what better way to do it than with pro gamers like this guy?
I love him.
He looks just like you and me. He goes to the same school. He's got the same mullet, and he also thinks that Gyarus is number 1.
Well, he's not wrong. Gyarus is number 1.
He also set out to correct everyone's pronunciation about the game. If you see his shirt, pronounced Gyarus.
Gyarus. Oh, I've been saying it wrong.
Should have read the shirt.
Should have read the fucking shirt.
So it wasn't just this. They had several ads featuring this and other so-called professional gamers.
So we've got, we got this guy who I fucking love.
So this was their second ad, and I think this was a good one because they show an off-screen shot of one of the really big bosses, and that gives you a good idea of what to expect from the game. Here's one game that really smokes.
Look at this guy, though!
Here's the game that made me give up smoking.
Look at this fucking guy! He's got a gold chain, and his name is Jamie fucking Bunker! I love him!
Yeah, he's cool.
Look at this!
He got a Renovation shirt!
I know! And look at this! Look at how sleazy this is! With this, like, velvet-ass fucking turtleneck and this gold necklace! It's amazing!
That is kind of a strange-looking texture on his shirt. Maybe he is wearing a skinned black velvet painting.
It's a velvet turtleneck.
And then at the bottom, they were all like, hey, here's some other stuff we published too, and we got more on the way. So this great game, 8s and 9s out of 10, you gotta buy this.
Alright, there's one more ad I want to show off.
Okay. Yeah, there's those EGM reviews right down there.
Hey.
And yeah, they really took to this. It was finally something to springboard off of after everyone's kind of... They just basically had an kind of reaction to their other games, but this one, the critics loved it, and his mullet is bigger and fluffier than ever before. And is that a new mustache?
Yes!
Oh, he's growing up right in front of our eyes.
I love him!
These Renovation games are making him the sleazeball he was destined to become.
God, that's my transition goal. Okay.
Look at that. 8s and 9s. All exploding heads in GamePro. That was some good stuff back then. You couldn't get that kind of recommendations just from anyone. You couldn't buy those kind of scores. GamePro, they will not be bought. They give out exploding heads only to the games that deserve them. So let's play it.
Alright, here we go.
Guy R Us. Gyarus.
Are us. Guy are us, everybody. And us are Guy.
Me are Guy. Guy are us. I'm not sure if that build-up can really justify this game we're about to play, but it's pretty good. I like Guy Arus.
I love this music.
I should also note this is one of the most difficult shooters on Sega Genesis, so if you really want a challenge, play this one. Me, I've never gotten past level 1.
Well, cool, Coyote, unless I get a haircut soon, I will get a mullet.
It's the new mullet generation for Alex. This game's kind of neat. You got this little bit that trails you, like in Whi Rush, but unlike that game, you can send it out and have it suck out the enemy's energy and take it on its own, and you get more powerful. Kind of satisfying in a way. Usually it's all like these big enemies, you just kind of have to dodge them and outsmart them. But this one, you can just leech off their energy and take it for your own.
Cool potatoes in the sky.
Yeah, we're entering the potato zone.
Watch out. That one's been baked.
Uh-oh, it's the russet belt. Cool backgrounds, though. I like the sun peeking over the planet back there. These guys had a real eye for aesthetics, and that's what I think set them apart back then. Like, they actually cared about character and mech design and stuff like that.
Well, someone made a Guy R Us reproduction shirt.
Oh, man.
I kind of want it.
I do, too.
Yes.
And depending on what kind of enemies' energy you siphon off, you get different weapons. So that's a neat little feature. You gotta worry about not just shooting enemies, but also leaving some alive just long enough to really sap their weapons. That in the background starts scrolling really fast, and there's really big bosses. This is pretty much everything you'd want from a Sega Genesis shooter back then. Oh, I took this dude's weapon. Look at this.
Yeah, well, I was actually, we were gonna mention that Electric Boogaloo, but yeah, Telenet did have a label in Japan called Renovation Game.
Did they?
Oh, yeah, they did!
Inform me.
I'll read what Electric Boogaloo says, but, the label in Japan Renovation Game, published this, along with Valis III and the PC Engine CD version of Golden Axe. I knew about Valis III because we're actually going to look at a in-store demo of Valis III in the intermission. Mm-hmm. So, and that has like an intro that says Renovation.
Wow, so they were aiming for it to be a worldwide brand then.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. Alright, so this is Renovation's high point on Genesis. They had the critics at their backs. They had professional gamer Jamie whoever.
Jamie Bunker, damn.
Jamie
Show
Bunker.
some respect to the original esports boy.
Son of the great Archie Bunker.
Fuck off.
Out to advertise Renovation games. And from here on out, we're going to see a whole bunch of games released in a very short time frame. Because they were going all in on Sega Genesis. This is a good game.
Archie. I was gonna, yes, Meathead, the Archie Bunker's Meathead son, the famous, the famous original gamer.
It was his son, so yeah, that's why he has the mustache.
This fucking sucks.
I knew we could tie this into All in the Family somehow. But yeah, look at this. Just, even superficially, this already looks better than the other games that they published so far. Even if it's a checkpoint-based shooter. Yeah, it's more in the vein of R-Type than anything else, but still, that's the way hardcore gamers liked them back then. Hard.
And with that, Should we go to the next game?
Oh, but I like this. I want to get more weapons. Can I absorb, like, the power from a rock? Oh, the rock gave me some power. Cool.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, even just in terms of graphics, this is an obvious step up. And it had a little bit of complexity with the weapons system. Can't go wrong with Gyarus. 1991, this was top of the line. More stalactite energy.
You beautiful angels. Blab says, I used to play this all the time at Jamie Bunker's place. That is a joke for 3 fucking people. God bless. Also, there is a cheat menu in this game if you want a level.
Oh, sweet. Okay, well, this game's accessible for everyone then. Everyone can enjoy Gyarus. Gyarus. Yeah, I think we've gotten all that we can get out of this.
Alright, that is gonna be 5 minutes.
We're done here.
Done. Get out of here, guys.
Take that, Jamie Kennedy. I mean, Jamie
fucking Bunker. Am I the only one who respects our gaming 4 founders?
So after this, they were cresting high on the wave of Gyarus. For February, that was their release, and they wouldn't release another game for months and months after that. And they came back in June of 1991. A little game called Valis III. Yep, all right. Already they were going towards their big franchise in Japan at this point. It was time to release Valis in the States. Now, this game had previously appeared on TurboGrafx 16 CD. There was Valis 2 and 3 released here in the States. And then there was a remake of Valis 1 and Valis 4 that were released exclusively in Japan. Sega Genesis, meanwhile, got Valis 1, Valis 3, and Valis 2, kind of. We'll get into that in a little bit. Now, what do you gotta know about these games? These are... Did someone find James E. Bunker, Senior Program Manager? Is that him?
Yes.
Have we tracked down the great Jamie Bunker?
Yes, he works at Seagate Technologies now.
That must be what these guys are talking about. They're all like, did you find the Gyarus guy? I hear he has the Sword of Valis.
No, where is he?
So you get the point so far. Anime action. That's what these games are all about. These games star a lady with a sword and a short skirt. And that is the formula for sales.
This is all you need to see, Danny.
Alex is distracting me with fake Gyarus box art.
I'm being distracted by the angels in chat.
I'm trying to figure out what's up with Nizetti and the Valis sword, and how that has to do with Glamis and Lay.
Seems like a messy situation, Danny.
It does.
We are 1 minute 30 seconds in, and we still don't know what we're doing.
We will see how powerful the Valis sword is. Ha! 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 Ha!
Can someone hack the ship in Gyarus to just be that guy flying through space?
God, I hope so.
Please. Here she is, Queen of Dream. Wait, no.
Queen of Dreamland.
I can't figure out what's going on either.
So at this point, you're just jumping in with Valis 3 on Sega Genesis, so they gotta give you a little bit of a recap here. This is what happened in Valis 1. Oh, and then after the fight, Yuko defeated King Rogless.
2 minutes, 30 seconds.
Her best friend. Well, this is a big part of the game. They intended you to see this and to be impressed by the anime.
Well,
then there was Valis 2, and we're about to run out of time, so I'm going to start the game.
Yeah, you have to start the game.
Now, Valis 3 is an okay game, both here on Sega Genesis and the TurboGrafx 16 CD. Valis 4 is considered to be by far the best. The rest are just kind of okay. We're going to skip this too.
Okay.
No, we're not. We're going to watch it. We have to watch it.
We will play no Valis.
Or you're a Valis. We will have to play Valis 2 on Turbo CD at some point, because the localization was weird. I think the voices were localized before the rest of it, so everyone calls it the Sword of Varus, and yet the title of the game is Valis. And this game, they steal the Valis sword and you gotta go out in your PJs and try to get it back. I have to go now. Here's some pajama Yuko.
I love this.
Just running across the rooftops.
Does she not have shoes on? Jesus Christ.
Well, when someone steals the Valis sword,
I guess.
you gotta get out of bed.
Ugh.
Hi, Cham.
Hey, Cham.
I finally found you.
Hey, it's Galleon.
Magic Emperor Galleon.
Boy.
Dear Quark. Oh, the sword's fallen. I need that. And check this out. Jumps off the building.
That's cool.
Coolest shit.
This is pretty cool. I will not. This is decent.
Yeah, this game, obviously the emphasis is on storytelling, and yeah, look at that.
That's cool.
Just bringing the anime experience home. And here's the video game. You're a lady with a cool sword, and you gotta kill all these weird space bugs.
You got 30 seconds.
Okay, so Valis, there was a whole lot of games. There was a Super Nintendo one that was bad, don't play that one. There was a Famicom one that's even worse, don't play that one.
Mm-hmm.
This, like a lot of other Telenet games, this was also out on PC-88 and 98 platforms before getting ported pretty much everywhere. And the series ended in a pretty dramatic way, which I'm pretty sure everyone knows at this point. But before that, there were a whole bunch of ports, and this was pretty much Telenet's biggest biscuit. What's the phrase I'm looking for here?
You are looking for the phrase biscuit. I was going to say breadwinner, but I prefer
breadwinner,
biscuit.
that's what it was.
No.
It was Telenet's biggest biscuit,
Big,
and they leaned on it as they could, just porting it everywhere, getting in front of everyone's eyes.
putting all their gravy on it.
And for the most part, people were like, hey, these games are okay. And they are. They're not anything fantastic. They're kind of limited compared to other action platformers of the day.
All right, this biscuit's starting to get burned on the sides. Time to take it out of the oven.
Oh, shit. Okay, in conclusion, it's no Ninja Gaiden, but it works. I'll take what I can get. We'll see more Valis in a little bit. Thank you, Valis.
Thank you, biscuits.
Finally, several months later, October of 1991, Renovation awakes again. They're back in business, and they got a game called Arcus Odyssey.
All I can think of is...
Hey, bring home the biscuits.
Biscuits.
Stream is not off the rails. I always talk about biscuits. This is normal.
This is very normal.
So we're back to Wolf Team. Now, the last game, I think, was developed by Riot, which was another subdivision developer within Telenet.
Yes.
But we're back to our favorites. The Wolf developers at Wolf Team. Yet more anime aesthetics.
This is pretty cool.
I guess if you were into that back in the early 90s, this would be the company to look for. There were so few games that emphasized the anime qualities of stuff. Like, you know how games got fucked up box art back then?
Mm-hmm.
Games always tried to hide the fact that they came from Japan.
They were just like, hey, look at this, Macho Man.
And I
No
guess
babes
that's,
here.
I guess that's what made Renovation stand out. They kind of leaned into it instead of trying to hide the origins of these games. So this game's 2-player, but we should just go ahead and do 1-player.
Okay.
It's a class-based, gauntlet-style action game. We'll go with this dude here. I've beaten this game, and you know what? I like it. I think it's pretty darn good. You can think of this as Granada, but with dudes. How do I fire? No, really, how do I fire? Something's wrong here.
Uh-oh.
Oh, there we go. Oh, you gotta tap the fire button. I see. I gotcha. Here it is, the latest Renovation release.
Yes, thank you, Abby, for mentioning the Kid Fenris article. Yes, Arcus Odyssey also featured an ad with a professional gamer, and this
Did he
guy...
like it? What did he think?
He says it's time to learn a thing or two about fun, and it says, professional gamer David Izzat knows a lot about fun games, especially with Arcus Odyssey, equipped with an 8 meg graphic power.
Ooh, 8 megs.
Arcus Odyssey is pure strategy, with up to 4 warriors, 2 warriors per game. Work your way through daring levels and mind-boggling mazes.
Well, playing this, the first thing I think is, this is pure strategy. But go on.
Hey, now that you've learned the basics, ask the ultimate question. Are you ready to learn a thing or two? About fun? Well, are you?
If there's one thing I know fun is, it's learning. I love to learn. Learning's fun. And thus, the strategy game of the year is also fun. I don't know where that guy gets off calling this a strategy game, but for what it is, it's pretty good. Got a nice isometric viewpoint, which at least sets it apart from other Gauntlet clones.
This looks cool.
Graphics are pretty nice and detailed. It's got this nice fantasy aesthetic. It's got treasures to collect, multiple levels, all in 8 megabits. See that frog there? That frog can only be done with 8 megabits.
I do not know what being a professional gamer in the 90s entailed.
Yeah, good question.
Because there was a lot of them. Like
There was Skip Rogers.
Yeah.
And there was Howard Phillips. It was a pretty exclusive club.
Magmoram mentions that Pro Gamer was a tester in that one, so maybe they're all just like, you know, QA people.
Could be. Was Jamie Bunker employed at Renovation?
God, I hope so.
I think he's a little bit too close to the product to be a worthwhile critic.
Hey, I don't know if anyone could have heard that, but your death little squeal there was really good. It was just kind of a sad, and you know,
really?
Feeling it, yeah.
That's cool. Would you like to have the Doll of Life?
Would you?
I would. Yeah, it's neat. Pretty much what you see is what you get with a lot of these games. You can think of this as Final Zone, just less clunky and kind of with a point. Now, I think Arcus as a series came out on PC computers back then in Japan. Yep, that's right, PC computers. I think those games were actually RPGs, or maybe even adventure games. They weren't really action games. This is the one that kind of took it in a different direction when they brought it to the States. And this is also among the few games that Renovation promoted via a show called Nick Arcade.
Yes.
Which I know quite a few people watched back then, including me. Mm-hmm. I like that show.
I mean, it was good. Made on the Amiga, baby.
Mm-hmm. Only Amiga.
Chat's roasting you, saying personal PC computers and personal computers. That's good. Home personal PC computer and rip in peace.
Rip in PC, the personal computer. Thank you. Look, it's been a long time since I played this game.
Alright, and that is 5 minutes.
It's good. I recommend it. Check it out sometime, why don't you?
Check it out at your local library.
Where are we headed here? We're about to approach intermission here, but I think we can fit in one more game.
We can.
We'll leave off midway through 1991. October 91, so right after Arcus Odyssey, they released Vapor Trail. You ever heard of this one?
Yeah, I love Floral Shop.
I mean the Data East Vapor Trail, Alex.
We are the worst millennial vaudeville team. No, though, I have not heard of this.
Okay. So this is another game that's not by Telenet or Wolf Team. This is a Data East joint, and they brought it over here.
Hey, this is cool! I'm into it.
So if you want a complete Data East and Renovation collection for your Sega Genesis, you need this game. It counts as both. Barger. And it's a vertical shooter. Holy shit! They actually haven't released one of those yet. That's right, they can do more than just horizontal shooters. They can do vertical shooters. And this one actually ain't so bad.
This music.
And yeah, the music is pretty good. I like the backgrounds in this. They're not very repetitive. They got a lot of distinct landmarks and stuff. That, and I just like shooters that start you out flying over a city. It's a good way to start.
This is so cool. Let's see,
Thinking stuff like Arrow Fighters, Bat Rider, all the best shooters start in a city. Fight me.
I mean, Jamie Bunker might, but...
Okay. I don't know why I felt the need to turn that into a fight, but it's gotta happen now.
Dino Heart says, some computers are personal, other computers are family.
Hey, it's just business. BC, the business computer.
Chat talking about a cat they saw on the ground.
Oh, cool. What kind of cat was it?
I assume it's good. Let's see. The theme music is by Gamadelic or Gamadelic, depending on how I'm supposed to pronounce that.
Yep, that's Data East's in-house band. Their equivalent of Zuntata, believe it or not. Later, they released a vocal album where they sing about RoboCop, and it's pretty good.
Really?
Yeah.
Fuck.
Oh, it's a drone.
Oh, shit.
Gotta stop this drone technology. Yeah, this soundtrack's pretty good.
I was gonna know, this music is great. I'm trying to think of funny goofs and things to say, and all my brain can think of is, like, music good.
Mm-hmm. So, is Renovation for you? Well, if you like anime aesthetics, if you like fancy openings, and most of all, if you like shoot-em-ups, Renovation is for you. This was a publisher for the people back then. A lot of people back then were saying, oh, arcade-style shooters, they suck. Bring me the fancy stuff, like Sonic the Hedgehog. That's like word for word what they said. Meanwhile, Renovation was all like, no, we will not throw away the great games of the past just because of you Johnny-come-latelys, you Sonic the Hedgehogs. We still like shoot-em-ups. And these games are for those people. This is how we talked in the 90s, alright?
It's true.
I was there.
It was
Were
really
you
weird.
there? I don't think so.
That's true. You weren't even old enough to be alive when people were saying that sort of thing, Alex.
Yeah,
It
Paper
seemed
Trail
funny.
was in the arcades. Everyone was talking about Johnny-come-latelys.
Mm-hmm.
I will say this is one of the best shooters I've played so far of the Renovation-produced games. What about Johnny?
Johnny Turbo Come Lately says Scarlet Swordfish, and Magma Ram, not to roast you, but they said this sounds like a drill tweet instead of tweet, and all I can think of is a twee pop version of drill, and it fucking sucks, and it's shit.
It's Drill with a bob haircut. Think of the cover of Amelie, but with a cigarette hanging out of her mouth. Anyway, this is Vapor Trail, and it's pretty good. Recommended for both Data East fans and for Renovation fans. Buy it today and you can fill out multiple subsets. I've killed Alex.
Cool, I got murdered for my birthday. That's pretty cool.
Look at this fucking thing.
Whoa!
Spider bot. Oh, its legs don't move. That's a little disappointing. It's Sega Genesis, what do you expect? I bet in the arcade its legs moved.
So...
Did you hear that?
Yes, it's 5 minutes, and before I stop, I just want to say Krungling said Manic Pixie Drill Girl, and I crave fucking death.
Good God. Good God. What have we done? We gotta dial things back. We're a little bit too punch drunk with tonight's stream. I'm playing actual good games, so I'm starting to ramble and just speak nonsense. We gotta get together. We gotta slap some sense into ourselves. And most of all, we gotta take a break.
We do.